Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
And so now moving into entrepreneurial types. You talked about them a little bit earlier, so if you could, kind of refresh our memory about that again, and then we'll go into each one or, a couple of them and talk about that.
Yeah, so I just think there's the business type, and they can do startups, they can, get businesses and grow them, they can get businesses and maybe that are already grown and need to be scaled, or maybe they can grow them and then scale them or whatever.
Yeah.
Then I think there's, what I would call the trenders. They're going to capitalize on a trend. It may be cash for gold during COVID. It could be mask. It could be, different things of that nature.
Yeah.
And just on a sidebar with those people, to me, the people that are the entrepreneurs, which is fine, it's great and all that see the thing that's right in front of you, I'm like, oh, cool, yeah,
Yeah.
But the people that see something outside of that is those are the kind of guys I like.
Right.
So as an example, everybody and their mother knew that solar was going to hit, 15 years ago, or whatever it was. And so everybody's like, I got to go get into solar paneling. But it was the people that were able to figure out, hey, these guys are going to go in there and get it in, get out. They're going to thrash these people's roofs. So I'm going to do a maintenance business on the side and go in and or like with sports cards. Everybody and their mother, I got 4 rooms full of sports cards and sports memorabilia. Okay, everybody and their mother wants sports cards right now, especially basketball, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I should get into the protection of those cards business.
Right.
Because I don't want to look at what everybody else is looking at. So when everybody else is driving a, BMW or Mercedes or whatever, I'm like, I'm going to go drive a Jaguar.
Right.
First of all, it's $50,000 cheaper, which I like. And, now I just drive a truck. But when you're a financial advisor, you have to look the part, unfortunately, which isn't much in my alley, but it made sense at the time. So I just think that there's, a lot of that. And then I think the other two are what I would call the innovators and the inventors. So the inventor is somebody that sees a challenge and goes, okay, I'm going to invent this product or this service or whatever, and beat it. And then the innovators, that's always a tough one for me. It's like we used to do when I would do my leadership classes, we would do normed agreements, and they would go, oh, we got to be on time. What do you think's important for this next, hour, day, or whatever we're going to be together? Well, they all say, be respectful. And I was like, I hated that one, because I'm like, well, if you were in my house, you would not think Monopoly was very respectful. It was a full fist fight. We got the Greek 300s that are trying to win at Monopoly, boards flying all over and wacky dumb stuff like that. Or like we used to argue passionately, like we would debate, like it was full on, like these politicians, we would just shred them. Right, because that's what we did in our house. We back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No, the bat story again.
Right.
And so that may not look very respectful, but to me it was. I feel like that with the innovators. Can you innovate? Yeah, but typically, as we talked about, it's something that's already there and you're just going to tweak it, which I call more the inventor.
Got it. And so, first question is, in the decathlon, that's what I did, as you brought it up. There was things that came natural, right? So the hurdles were natural. The 400 was not natural. Would you agree that happens in for everything, that some things come natural versus unnatural?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do you think was natural for you when you first started out as an entrepreneur between those different types?
Well, I think that I saw a lot of trouble growing up. Okay, so I was 4 foot nothing and weighed nothing. And you want to be the best athlete. Well, figure it out. If I'm 4 foot and you're 5 foot and we're both in 4th grade, who's going to win basketball?
Right.
Probably you.
Yeah.
Now, I got my fair share of wins, right? Because I learned systems to beat people. I practiced harder. I had work ethic. I had different things of that nature.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, everybody is going to have their strengths and their weaknesses. And so as long as my weaknesses I knew wouldn't be 100% detrimental, then I would focus in on my strengths. But what I will tell you is this: when you get to the championship level,
Yeah.
the 59-2 teams, the 10-0 teams, the 50-0 teams, the world champion teams, the negatives will bite you.
Right.
And so we're going to find out this weekend with the Buffalo Bills.
Mhm.
They can't run the ball,
Yeah.
and usually that will probably bite you.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have to run the ball. Now, it's changing, so maybe not as much.
Right.
But I'm just telling you that the only reason we weren't 60-1 is because the one guy that I told him he cannot get in foul trouble. I told him all year. I told him for 2 years. He was in 7th grade too. And in a positive way, because you can't say don't do this. Your
Right.
brain doesn't process the negative.
Yeah.
I said, hey, you got to stay in the game. You got to keep your hands straight up. You got to move your feet. Different things of that nature. So I didn't say, don't foul or 'cause
Right.
whatever. So I did it in the correct manner. He still fouled out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people do as entrepreneurs or people in general. They foul out because it's easier to go, oh, well, it's not my fault. I just fouled. No, it is your fault, idiot.
Right.
Move
Yeah.
your feet.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so, with seeing a lot of trouble, do you think that helped you become a good inventor because you saw troubles and inventions, and so that made you help, or so that gave you the opportunity to build a better invention?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people that see a lot of trouble. Their mom was an alcoholic, their dad was a molester, their auntie was a whatever, their uncle, right?
Yeah.
But they don't turn the lemons into lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people stay there and they use it as a crutch their whole life, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I saw so much trouble.
Right.
That's why I wanted to teach.
Yeah. Right.
I saw that I could help.
Yeah.
And so if you can turn that, then who's going to win? Who's going to win? If I see 10,000 troubles in a month and you see 100, and we both you go correct your 100 and I go correct my 10,000, who wins?
Yeah.
Every time slam.
Yeah.
These kids are locally can compete with you, and you didn't even have one event.
Right.
I mean, think about if you just would have pole vaulted. I don't know, 17-1, high 16s. That's pretty good as a non-beach person,
Yeah.
California person, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just think that it's not just the trouble; it's what you do with it.
Yeah.
And so, I became a great trouble, but it sucks partially, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the shower the other day, and those little things that you stick on the window and has the mirror?
Yeah.
Well, that sucker kept falling off. And so after I threw it outside, I invented something that will be coming out on the market in 2025.
Yeah.
Right? But that's just my mind. So I like it. To me, it's a blessing. But to others, it could be a curse because you're constantly thinking of, how can I solve this? How can I resolve this? How can I systemize this? How can I formulate this? How can I?
Right.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly comfortable in my own skin. My wife, however, she says, for 23 hours and 52 minutes a day, I will not talk to you.
Yeah. Got it. That makes sense. But that would be tough on a lot of people.
Oh, man.
And it'd be tough on you as well that has to point out the trouble because
No.
no one likes to see trouble or hear trouble.
Well, and the funny thing is I tell everybody, because I'm pretty blunt and straightforward,
Yeah.
and I'm a teacher. I want to teach you a lesson, right? But I tell them, if you saw my tongue, I bite it all the time. Because I realized that I would drive everybody away. Right?
From the...
Yeah, so I bite my tongue a lot more than people think. And I tell them, I say, I probably have, 50 billion stitches on my tongue because I've been biting it. And they're like, no, you told me 4 things today. And I'm like, yeah, but I saw 400. Yeah.
Right. And so, going back to the types, if you could just, the strengths could go on and on, the weakness could go on forever. Yeah. But for each one, could you give one strength and one weakness for, business owners, inventors, stuff like that?
Yeah, but I think I would just say as an overall.
Okay.
Because I think it's one and the same. And again, we can say business and innovators, but let's go moms and dads and grandmas and sisters and cousins. I mean, this is just across the board, right?
Yeah.
The bottom line is that do you have some self-awareness? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of times people think when they do something, who they are is not okay. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not who you are, it's what you did.
Right.
Now, here's where it becomes a problem. if what you did continues to be the same negative pattern over and over again,
Yeah.
then probably it does become who you are.
Not what you did.
Yeah, but I don't ever look at it. I try to prevent, right? So I'm biting my tongue. And so when I let it out, you know, I don't feel great about it. People say, oh, well, no, I don't feel great about it. But I feel great that I would be trying to help that person. Because I'm not doing it for selfish reasons. Because if I needed you to, you know, flush the toilet because you didn't flush after you went to the bathroom, I'll go flush it myself. I was already in there anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to teach you a lesson for the bigger picture.
Right.
Because, you know, especially if it's your kids or somebody that I count all my employees and all my students, my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I may only get another month of what I call swipes, trying to teach them, trying to work with them, trying to educate them.
Yeah.
Because when they're gone, they may or may not choose to come back to you. Because remember, the mentee chooses the mentor, not the other way around.
Right.
So I'm always going to do the best I can every single time, because I realize that it may be the 407th time that I say something to somebody that they go, oh, and then that helps to change their family dynamics or their, you know, position in life or the money they make or. Yeah.
Got it. And so, you know, could you share with the audience your favorite entrepreneurial deal, just anything like that?
Oh man, I've had a bunch. So I maybe I'll give you 3. I'll give you like a low level one, but they tickle me in the same way.
Okay.
Right. So I went in and I saw this action figure thing. It was about the size of that microphone, you know, maybe 10 inches. And I had no idea what the heck that thing was, but I liked it.
Okay.
His eyes were all like, you know, he was all jacked up and stuff. And so I picked it up for $1, and I just set it on, you know, I got man cave stuff, and so I just set it there. And somebody came in and goes, hey, that's whatever, I don't remember what they said. And they go, that's worth a lot of money. So I looked it up. It was $150.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know, to me, that's an entrepreneurial thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it for money. I just liked it, and it happens to work out. That happens a lot for me.
Yeah.
Right? That's that purpose thing. Are you doing this because your purpose, you know, is it purposeful? Are you passionate? So on and so forth.
Right.
So that was fun for me. And I've had a bunch of those. I used to collect the old, like, laced basketballs when I was coaching basketball, like from the 20s and 30s. I used to go out to swap every week, right? Oh, grumpy old man. He goes, mother effer this and mother effer that. And he throws this. He goes, here's a football for you. I want $15 for it. Well, it was mashed up. And I knew right away, this ain't no football. This was a basketball. But it looked like, you know, it was a football. Well, when I, you know, got it expanded, it was an old Wilson, and the laces were on the outside. And I sold that thing for $500 on eBay. And this was like 20 years ago. That's probably a $2,000, you know, deal now.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of those where, you know, what I call it merchandise stuff that somebody else has created, I purchase and then, you know, do that. And then let's say I'll go with the startup. So we took a startup and we still have that company, and it was $0 and 0 cents, right? And that company has wound up helping, I think we're at like 43 million to whatever, a large number we've helped the youth. So what we do with this company is we go help the adults who work with kids, primarily in after-school programming.
Okay.
But we can do it with K-12 education or whatever.
Okay.
And so, and it also helped around like 7 to 10 million adults. I'd have to look at the exact number right now.
Yeah.
But I mean big boy numbers.
Okay.
Right. And so we were able to take that company from helping just whoever we were teaching. So I used to say, you know, I had 10,000 students and 223 employees when I was working in the school district.
Yeah.
And so now, you know, we've 20, 30, 40 times that over a 10-year period.
Yes.
So to me, you know, that's about as amazing as as it gets.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So the $1 to $100, that's fun.
Yeah.
But helping those kids, because I get to think like, hey, all those kids and those adults
Right.
may be in my line.
Yeah.
Right, which would be
Absolutely.
really cool. And then let's say a third one was actually it was about the thrift store. We took we took that over. It was making, and this is more of a financial number, but we took it over. It was making some stupid number like $1,000 a month or something, and we turned that to a lot more than that in a month. Yeah, and we did it less than a year. And so I have systems, as you well know,
Yes.
company systems, holistic systems, individual systems. I have processes, routines. I have cycles. I mean, I got stuff. Right.
Right.
We just plug in. And so last story would be pre-COVID, we opened up 3 businesses in 1 year, and all profitable within the year, which is pretty rare. And we didn't what I call supplanting, or we did some in-kind matching, but no supplanting, meaning I didn't take money from the other business to get them going.
Got it.
We started them from scratch.
And then,
Yeah.
Right.
And so to me, I try to categorize, 3 ways. How many people can we help?
Yeah.
How much money can we make? And then the third one is how many things can we give away, or can we get with the nonprofit that we work with?
Got
right?
it. Yeah.
So to me, that's cool when you can go and say, "Hey, here's $1,000 worth of shoes, track shoes to a group of high schoolers that never had anything new in their life." That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Awesome.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
As a wife, if you nobody's wife.
No, you can help wives.
I'm just